Off the assembly line, I believe, in 1953 for the French Air Force. The F4U Corsair is this one is one of 12,571 Corsairs built. Now, you may know a number different, but I've just looked and listen. Here comes Dan McCue with the Collings Foundation Corsair. On the right wing is a radome from an early radar. Oh, what a beautiful airplane. Dan McCue, 35 years of flying experience with the airlines, retired Delta captain, and flies about anything that has a propeller on it that the Collings and that the Collings Foundation flies. One of the best warbird pilots in the country. Set a speed record of over 415 miles per hour. It was also manufactured by Goodyear and Brewster when Chance Vaught's manufacturing capabilities had reached their limits. That was done in many cases during World War II, where other companies built airplanes on production under license from the original manufacturers. Among those being the B-24 Liberator. The consolidated B-24 was manufactured in huge quantities by the Ford Motor Company at Willow Run Airport right by Ypsilanti, Michigan. The Japanese called this airplane the Whistling Death when it was inbound on its runs to do low-level attack runs against the Japanese in the Pacific Theater. It had a peculiar whistle, and it was very, very recognizable. Though the Corsair was originally designed for use aboard American aircraft carriers, naval aviators at the time had a great deal of difficulty landing this aircraft on the aircraft carriers because, as you can see, the pilot sits way back on the fuselage. And it was nearly impossible for the pilot to see the landing area while on final approach. Now, the Royal Navy, I should say, really led the world in the development of carrier operation. And they asked the United States Navy for some Corsairs. And they did that. They got some. And they did a couple of things. Number one, they raised the pilot seat up a little bit and changed the canopy to what is known as a Malcolm hood. A slightly bubble canopy that, like you see on this Corsair. And Dan goes into an 8-point hesitation roll. This is precision flying at its best. 5 every 45 degrees. 6, 7, and 8. There you have the 8-point hesitation roll. So they raised the pilot's seat, changed the canopy to give the pilot a little better forward visibility, and then they took advantage of that inverted gull wing, or the wing coming down from the fuselage and then pointing up, by changing the approach to the deck of a carrier to an more oval approach to allow the pilot to look through the crook in the wing, if you will, till he was just on very, very short final. Then he could aim toward the deck, see paddles, the landing signal officer, and land more safely. But it was this challenge and problem initially with landing on the decks of carriers that got many, many Corsairs assigned to Marine Corps, land-based Marine Corps units in the Pacific. Among them, the Black Sheep Squadron. Major Pappy Boyington, and Lieutenant Colonel Pappy Boyington, and his, they called him Pappy because he was in his, I think maybe close to 30 years old, and all the other pilots were late teenagers or early 20s. He was the old dude. And there was back in the late 60s a television show called Black Sheep Squadron, and for I think a season or so it's called Baba Black Sheep. Even in the Korean War, I've read that a Corsair actually shot down a jet-powered North Korean MiG fighter in a dogfight. And he is out. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in a round of applause for Dan McCue flying the Collings Foundation F4U Corsair.